That's pretty much when things really started getting a little out of hand, really, down here in downtown Miami. Police were out here throwing some tear gas as well. I know we have some video from earlier today of that as well. I was able to capture that video and post that on Twitter earlier today as well. It was really just a surreal scene to see this all unfold here before our very eyes. You know, this whole thing started off as a peaceful protest, or that's at least what organizers intended it to be. We had close to 1,000 people near Bayfront Park. They were all out there protesting what happened with George Floyd over in Minneapolis. And then once people started moving closer here to the police department, things really did turn violent, as you could see there from some of those videos. So once again, guys, we are here near the police department. They really have been able to disperse those crowds. And as the mayor put it, some of those professional agitators, it seems they've really gotten a handle, at least in this area. But they are out here making sure that no one is out on the streets, because once again, they say they will start arresting people. We're live in downtown Miami. Rafael Pierce, 7 News 19.
All right, Rafael, thank you. And we have some live pictures that we can show to our audience where police have warned anyone out on the streets, unless you are an essential worker heading to or from work, you need to be off the street right now because there is a curfew in effect and it will be enforced with arrest if need be.
Yet from what we are looking at right now, you did just see a couple of people walk by. They do have bandanas over their mouths. Something that we've been talking with the chief of police about tonight is the need for social distancing. He has been in a city that has been shut down effectively for weeks because of the coronavirus. And then today we saw a lot of that undone. It will be weeks before we see the full ramifications of what happened here today. People near each other, breathing on each other as tear gas was going out. Even our own reporters who were not up in the thick of it were left coughing because of the tear gas that went out. So these protesters who then were inhaling it and then breathing it on each other and have now dispersed. We will see what the numbers will be, because it's important to remember, while this anger, these protests have unfolded across the country, here on the streets of South Florida, there is also a pandemic happening around the world, and these two things have really collided here locally and nationwide.
And as we take this look at cruisers lined up, a show of force on the streets of Miami, trying to ensure that no one is on the streets during this curfew. You are watching 7 News. The night team will be back after a quick break.
Arresting people if you are out here in this area, especially where it was right by the police department. This was pretty much the epicenter just a couple of hours ago. That's really where police and protesters came face to face, and we started seeing all those cars being lit on fire. We saw tear gas being thrown around. But once again, police out here making sure that people are off the streets, because they may arrest you, as it appears that's what's going on right there behind us. But for now, we're live here in downtown Miami. Rafael Pierce, 7 News 19.
All right, Rafael, and as we take another live look from overhead, I know it's glitching in and out, but this is a scene from Skyforce that we've been looking at. And again, there another large scene to give you an idea of what has happened through the last couple of hours as we try to look and see if there's any new images coming out of this. Miami police came out of their department once their vehicles were lit on fire and a civilian vehicle was lit on fire. We did start to see Miami-Dade County Police start showing up as well in full force, and then together they were able to, at 10 o'clock, start sweeping through the streets. Of course, you see a group outside of the McDonald's there. Again, police making it clear, if you're on the streets at this hour, they are going to arrest you. It's unclear if those are, it doesn't look like those are officers down there. It looks like it is a group of people standing outside of that McDonald's there.
Well, I think they're trying to clear it, you know.
And Ralph Rayburn, if you're able to, if you can hear me up there in 7 Skyforce and can give us an idea of, has this been active over that scene, or is or has...
I can't hear you.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't hear you. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine, Ralph. Thank you. If you just want to give us an update on what's been happening here, I don't know if it's been much, but if you can just give us an idea of what's happening here.
I believe it's the same location where we saw the gentleman on the ground there with his hands cuffed behind him. What's happened now is the field force, a word that I haven't heard used today. A field force is a group of police officers that are assigned to a specific detail. They train for this kind of situation along with others. They responded out here. These are county officers here, responded out in clearing certain areas, as we spoke earlier. As they think of the nexus of this thing was the City of Miami Police Department, and they spread out and they continued to expand out and clear roadways and areas like that. And they're just doing a little cleanup in this area near this McDonald's. This would be, I think it's about 4th and 2nd Avenue, 4th Street and 2nd Avenue. We'll bring the camera back out. I'm gonna flip the lens out here and show you. We had an issue a little while ago, and it was up in Wynwood. You were seeing police officers on foot running around a little bit. There were City of Miami officers that were dispatched up here, and I don't know how many of them are still there, but this area right up here, about 28th Street, that's 28th Street and North Miami Avenue, there's still some officers there. They had some folks out on the street there that were not complying with the curfew order, and maybe got into a little verbal altercation with the police officers, and so they started to clear, and officers did exit their vehicles and chase a couple of people down. I guess they either gave them a stern talking to or just told them that, informed them that the curfew was in effect. They may have not known about it, who knows? But anyway, that's up there in the Wynwood area, and so the thing had expanded out for a short period of time, but most of the officers that did respond there, and there were probably 30 or 40 police cars that ran up there, are now back down in this area. This would be south of where the MacArthur Causeway, where you meet the MacArthur Causeway, south of the Venetian, and from Biscayne Boulevard there at the American Airlines Arena, which is in the center of the screen right now. You see the Port Bridge there, all these familiar shots that you've been seeing since about 4 o'clock this afternoon. There's another Metro Police helicopter there flying through the area, and they'll go. This will continue now. This patrol and these field forces, they have a staging area. They get fed, they take a break, and then they get back in their cars and they get deployed to any area that might be considered a hot spot or an area where other officers need assistance in clearing the roadway. As we indicated earlier, I-95, let me give you a shot of that real quick over here. I-95 is open in both directions, but you cannot exit from, sorry about that. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back with you. You cannot exit from the 836 south to US 1. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. But anyway, you can't exit northbound or southbound on any of those exits. You can get down to US 1, you can get north of 836 and end up to the 112 and 62nd Street and all the way north. Those roads are fine. But the Florida Highway Patrol, and with the assistance from the City of Miami and the county, have all the other exits blocked right now. Now we're going to give you another shot here, just 1 second. We're looking straight down over the top from, how high are we right now, Joe? We're at 1,500 feet. Now, normally our operating area is around 800, but because of the other police, the police agency down below in their helicopter, we give them a lot of latitude and a lot of room so that they can do their job. But you can see the area right there. This is, I believe, right here. Yeah, it's looking straight down on the heads, tops of the heads of those police officers where we saw the original confrontation and the escalation of that confrontation take place. The police officers are the only people on the street right now.